Hello, hello. It's Vertical Tuesday. You know what that means? Oh, yes. It's another vlog, another day, and I'm really excited about this one. We are talking about breakouts and blemishes in a whole new way. So just a couple seconds. I'm 1 minute early, so I'm going to wait just a couple minutes for people to log on. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put my lipstick on, get ready. And I love, love, love. This is not, by the way, a full makeup tutorial. This is the blog, but this kind of plays into it. So I love matte lipsticks, but they are almost impossible to wear without looking cakey, you know, your lips cakey and kind of chapped and dry. And so primer is key. And again, that'll kind of play into this in just a minute. So hopefully a couple more people will be joining in, and then we'll get right to it. This is one of my very favorite colors from MAC. It's called Relentlessly, and it is so pretty. One of my favorites. There we go. All right, so you guys, this is week number 3. I'm so excited. I am also really proud of myself, considering we've got 3 weeks in a row now, and I just keep on kicking. So this, more than anything, has been a really beautiful way for me to stay on top of my blogging. I think that when we are on our own deadlines and are waiting for our own motivation and holding ourselves accountable, it can be really, really difficult. But as soon as you put that out there to even just one other person, it helps for you to stay accountable and to your word. It's so, so, so important. If you really want to be successful in anything, tell people about it. It'll hold you accountable. It'll keep you going back. And that is what the Vertical Tuesday has done for me. And I hope that it is, you guys are getting something out of this as well. So this week, I'm going to be talking about breakouts and blemishes. And we're going to be talking about this in a whole different way. This is not a skincare blog. This is not a makeup blog week. This really is about kind of the breakouts and blemishes in our lives. So here we go. Hope you guys enjoy. Breakouts and blemishes. So a couple weeks ago, the whole state of Hawaii was on high alert for Hurricane Lane. The stores ran out of water and other supplies. The Red Cross had arrived. The governor had issued a state of emergency, and every family was in emotional distress. And we were anxiously watching the 24-hour news coverage of this hurricane. Even if the hurricane was not a direct hit, we were still expecting tropical storms and flooding. My mind was racing as I thought of ways to keep Charlie safe based on my physical limitations. I packed an emergency backpack, stocked up on food, water, flashlights, and other supplies, and even parked my car across the street at the top of a hill just in case our parking lot got flooded, as it's known to do. I'd officially bitten off all my cuticles, which is a bad habit of mine when I'm anxious, and once there was nothing left to bite, I turned to food. There was a funny meme going around about the discipline it took to not eat all of your hurricane snacks too soon and before the hurricane hit. And I was not so disciplined. Charlie thought it was the best thing ever. We played games, painted, blew bubbles, ate snacks for 5 days straight. I was a bit of an emotional wreck. However, I played it cool for Charlie's sake and tried to use his innocence as a reminder of the importance of having fun to de-stress. My trilogy of health took a major downward spiral over the course of the hurricane. The food was definitely playing a major role. I really tried in the beginning to focus on fruit, but once that was gone, I went in for the chips and the granola bars and the popcorn and the dates in large quantities. Even though I had healthier options in the house, like my protein shakes, protein bars, veggie burgers, I still went for the crap as a way to self-medicate. Unfortunately, the relief was temporary, as the junk food wreaked havoc on my digestion, mood, energy, and skin. I had this fear of venturing too far from home and getting stuck away from all of our supplies, so I went to the gym only on the first day. And then after that, I was too nervous to be away from Charlie, so the only exercise we got was a walk around our condo complex a couple times a day. My body was so confused, and I could feel it. I was tight and achy. I felt so much heavier in my transfers because of all the junk food that was just sitting in my gut. The lack of exercise was getting to me emotionally too, and I could feel the withdrawals. The saddest day was the day I had to miss my appointment with my therapist. If you listened last week, you know that was something I never do. Of all the weeks I had to cancel, this was one of the toughest weeks. I felt so off my game. I felt behind, my performance was lacking, and my emotions were all over the place. I could have really used that hour with her. The slump took its toll, and I couldn't even get myself to meditate or take deep breaths. I just felt so on edge and exhausted from the high stress levels that I just wanted to sleep. And too bad Charlie didn't agree. After 5 days, the hurricane threat came and went. Our town of Kihei barely got rained on, let alone a storm or flood. The storm took place in other areas. Our kitchen counters were covered in bottles of water. The trash was overflowing with evidence of the unhealthy choices we had made, and the pantry was still full of more waiting to be eaten. Our emergency bags needed to be unpacked, and I had a week's worth of work that I was behind on, since it was virtually impossible to get anything done with Charlie around. The aftermath of the food and activity choices were staring back at me in the mirror. I could see the bulge around my waist starting to come back from slow digestion and junk food, and my posture was seriously struggling. Not to mention, my skin had broken out like I had just hit puberty. I hadn't had a breakout like this in years. Pimples were on my forehead, my nose, my cheeks, even on my back. I couldn't believe how in less than a week I felt and looked like a completely different person. I knew I felt really good when I started eating clean, exercising and being diligent in nourishing myself emotionally, but I didn't realize how bad I felt when I didn't. Bad habits tend to creep on us slowly. My mom is notorious for saying, when you're my age, you'll wish you would have exercised, addressed your health, worn sunscreen, forgiven quickly, etc. And I'm notorious for not following her advice, only to regret it later. After the hurricane, I was left with a home and body in shambles. I was trying desperately to cover up the blemishes and breakouts on my face. I was back to wearing Spanx to hide my extra weight, and I was holding on to a lot of junk in my stomach, or my gut, I should say, because I was struggling with flushing it all out. I was also having trouble sleeping because I was not following my tried and true ways of meditation and journaling in order to maintain mental clarity, and it had only been 5 days. I guess it's a lot like life. It takes its toll on us. It creates stresses out of our control, putting us on high better, but the high quickly wears off, and we are left to pick up the mess we created. We are desperately trying to cover up breakouts and blemishes in our lives, instead of eliminating the root of the problem. Rather than get rid of the junk, we watch it pop up like pimples in different areas. We hold on to the crap that weighs us down, wishing we would have listened to our parents and protected ourselves. Then instead of waking up refreshed each morning, we are too exhausted to even have fun. Hurricanes will threaten us. There will be storms and sometimes even be a direct hit. It will be completely out of our control. There's no pretty way to say it. What is in our control is what we stock up on, what is in our home, our minds, and our bodies. It is the way we prepare ourselves, so that no matter the emergency, we are healthy enough to get through it. We are strong enough to keep our children safe, and we remember the importance of having fun through it all. If life gives you 5 days indoors, you build a fort. So obviously, Hurricane Lane was exhausting, to say the least. It wreaked havoc in so many ways. Emotionally, in our pantries, the messes afterwards. Sean was scrambling to actually put together sandbags for our lanai, and we did this kind of last minute, and then there were no more sandbags. So he was at the sand literally filling up trash bags of sand at the beach, filling up trash bags with sand so that we could line our lanai. And then afterwards, we were like, well, I guess it was kind of a waste, because nothing hit, but you never know if it's going to be a direct hit. You never know if there's going to be flooding. And so we were grateful we did it, but it definitely took us like a few days, if I'm being generous, to clean it all up. So my house is still a bit of a mess, and it's been almost 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow since we got that first kind of threat that Hurricane Lane was coming. And so as I was looking at my face over that week afterwards, and I had literally like pimples galore. I couldn't believe it. They were like, I'm still trying to fix one right here, kind of baby that. There's like 2 right here that were massive. And it was the stress. It was the junk that I was putting in my body. It was the unhealthy ways in which I was coping with this stress, not using my tried and true ways of meditation and journaling and kind of de-stressing by exercising and doing things to just laugh and have fun and play with Charlie and those things that I now am in a really great habit of doing, yet I fell back into really old, unhealthy ways when the storm hit. And it just, as I was looking at my face in the mirror and I was thinking about this week's vlog, I just thought, Gall, when we look around at kind of the breakouts and the blemishes in our lives, we can almost pinpoint why they're there. What are they stemming from? More often than not, it's because of the things we're feeding our bodies, things we're feeding our minds and our emotions and our souls. It's the people that we're hanging out with. It is the ways in which we are coping with the stress, with the storms of life, with the hurricanes. And my accident was like a direct hit, right? It was a hurricane direct hit on my life. My accident was a total direct hit. And I went into survival mode. And everyone around me went into survival mode. They struggled with trying to stay afloat and stay happy and stay calm. Yet we were all just in this sheer panic inside. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to handle it. We didn't have healthy ways of coping. And we were just trying to keep a smile on our face through the whole thing. But none of us were really prepared for it. None of us were. We were just trying to survive. And this hurricane was just such a big reminder. This Hurricane Lane that came in 2 weeks ago was just this big reminder that even if it's not a direct hit on us, we'll still feel the storms from direct hits on other people, from the things that people will go through, from, I think the biggest one that a lot of people are feeling right now is addictions, right? We see this everywhere. And even if we ourselves are not going through it, we may be experiencing it because of someone else close to us in our lives. And so again, I started thinking about the breakouts and the blemishes that I started having after this Hurricane Lane stress week. And I fed my body junk. I was not going back to my tried and true ways of stress management, of getting to the gym, exercising, the things I was feeding my soul, the things I was doing with my spare time. I was playing with Charlie quite a bit, but I was just in survival mode for him. And it was fascinating how just in the course of 5 days, 5 days, that's nothing, I saw myself go back to my unhealthy ways. So it was this big reminder to myself that it is a constant work in progress. And the transformations are constant. And just because you've, like, take me for example, lost a lot of weight, went through a great transformation, mind, body, soul, but just because I reached that doesn't mean I'm done. Now it's maintenance time. So once the transformation's done, then you go back to maintenance. And I think that it's just such a big reminder to never get too comfortable and to always be pushing ourselves to be stronger, pushing ourselves to be more confident in our ways, pushing ourselves to be better for our children. You know, I think that was the biggest thing with little Charlie, and I did the funnest little live video of like me packing my my emergency bag, getting ready for the hurricane, and I was a bit stressed. And then all of a sudden I look over at his little face and he comes over and he's wearing my sunglasses, just laughing, having a great time. And it was the best moment and it just broke up the stress. But sometimes he's not around to break up that stress. And so think about it though. And I want you to kind of go through your life and look at the breakouts and the blemishes and the junk that's weighing you down and the ways in which you are keeping yourself healthy. Are you sleeping well? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling heavy? Not just in a weight wise, but in like a burdensome way. Are there things that are on your just weighing you down on your shoulders? Are the different areas of your life breaking out? Are you looking around saying nothing is going right in my life? That's a breakout. That's a blemish. And that is only up to you to fix. It is only up to you to do anything about. I can't do any of this for you. I can inspire you, I can motivate you. I can do all this only from my own experiences, only from my own story, only from me going through my own crap and clearing up my own blemishes. And that is the only way that we can help one another is through our stories. So unfortunately, we got to go through the breakout in order to realize how either clear or unclear our skin may be, aka our lives, and then take a hard look at what are we doing to feed it. Are we feeding it junk? Are we in survival mode? Or are we nourishing our lives through the people, the things, the thoughts, the behaviors, the habits, the activities? Are we nourishing it or are we weighing it down? The only one who can do anything about it is you. And the first step is acknowledging what's working and what's not working. I got the best quote from someone this week. Best quote. It's a Wayne Dyer quote. Wayne Dyer lived on Maui. I feel like there's kind of a connection now with him. He just, everything he says, anything that he wrote in his, everything he said, I should say, and now he's passed away, anything he wrote in his books, it's just like pure truth and pure gold to me. And someone reminded me of a really beautiful Wayne Dyer quote. It said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And that includes our lives, ourselves, the people that are in our lives, the activities that we are doing, the passions, our dreams, our hopes. All of those things change when we change the way that we look at them. And last week I talked a lot about dreams and how I don't call my dreams dreams anymore. I call them my future possibilities. And just by changing the word I use to describe them, open them all up. They're now possible. They're possible. They're not dreams. Dreams come and go. Dreams you can forget when you wake up. Dreams have no substance. But when you think of them as a future possibility, oh, then they become real. So that's how I want to leave you today. I want to leave you with taking a look at your health of your life, the things that you're feeding it. Are you seeing breakouts everywhere? Are you seeing blemishes? Or are you seeing possibilities, opportunities, and areas that you can grow and prosper and gain strength that you never knew you had in the first place? I hope this has rang true to you. I hope you've gotten something for it. I hope it has nourished your soul. I hope that when you watch my videos that you are feeling just nourished. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Just nourish yourself. Nourish your mind, your body, and your soul. So if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Any feedback for me, anything that you would like to hear for next week, please let me know. It is Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. If you are new to following me, I do have a spinal cord injury. I'm at a level T4, which is like upper chest area, kind of mid rib cage, I guess is a good way to put it. And so I technically have no feeling or function below that level. And I was riding a four-wheeler. It'll be 6 years this month when I flipped over on that four-wheeler and broke my back and was paralyzed instantly. It was very instant, and right away the feeling and the function was gone. And little did I know that it would lead to a whole new set of future possibilities. I have this thing that I say that actually my accident gave me everything I could have ever wanted. It has given me deeper relationships. It has given me a sense of purpose. I've always wanted to be a speaker and a writer. I had nothing to talk about. I had nothing that had given me kind of a run for my money. Everything had come somewhat easy for me in life. And only since going through the accident do I now have a platform and something to talk about. And so if you're going through any crap right now, just be patient and start to change the way that you look at it. Because I promise there's something waiting. There's some hidden message. There's some hidden blessing waiting to be discovered. And there will be a grieving process that you'll need to go through. There was a big period that I needed to go through in which I had to grieve and learn to accept and step away from the denial and the heartache and the brokenness that I felt from this accident. And then once I went to kind of this area of acceptance, once I got through that grief, my whole world blossomed and opened up, and it gave me everything I ever wanted. And so everyone that is joining in, everyone that is taking part in this, I just want to thank you, because you are part of this journey and you are part of what has given me the ability to have a platform and part of the story. So thank you. But if you have any questions about spinal cord injury, if you have any questions about this week's blog or anything that you want to hear me talk about next week, please let me know. I am open to any and all suggestions. I would love to answer questions about spinal cord injury or disability in general. So it's a great month to do it. gives me a lot of insight and ideas for any future blogs as well. So anyone? See if there's anyone on Facebook. Oh, thanks for the love, Bill Roy. Thanks for everyone that has joined in. I am so appreciative. I am curious, did you guys remember that it was Vertical Tuesday and that I was going to be reading a blog? Or did you just happen to see the notification come up that I was live? Give me a comment, let me know. And if I need to get better about reminding people, because I feel like I have all this prep and it's totally on my mind all day. And then like an hour ago, I said, oh crap, I haven't like reminded anyone to tune in. So I'm curious, like, is this just by happenstance or did you remember to tune in? So please let me know. Maybe you gave me like a thumbs up if you remembered and like a heart if you just tuned in. So let me know. Thank you so much for the feedback over here on Instagram world. Let's see what we got. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much for all the comments and the, yes, Powerhouse Gym. Woohoo! Love my Powerhouse Gym. I have gotten, and this is not an exaggeration, at least 300 messages, private messages as far as what I did for my my transformation. What did I do to make it all happen? And I'm so excited because my trainer and I, we've been working tirelessly, him more than me, thanks Jake, to bring you something really, really special. So he currently has an online training app that he does online training from anyone in the world. You can tune in. So anyone that is able-bodied, if you're looking for a great trainer and great how-to and what do I do in the gym, he is phenomenal. He knows his stuff. He's just so brilliant and very motivating. That accountability has been key. But for anyone that is in a wheelchair, we're going to be having a branch off of that app. We have an app coming out very, very soon. It is the how-to, the accountability, the private coaching, the nutrition, the exercises, all of that in an online app. This is huge for people with disabilities, especially in wheelchairs, because this is going to give the how-to of how to make this happen. So if you're one of the hundreds that has messaged me, or if you haven't messaged and you've just been really curious, it is coming very soon. This Sunday, we actually start doing a lot of the filming for it. So it'll be actually yours truly doing these videos. And then as you log in, you'll have your list every day of which videos to follow for which exercises for that day and that body part. This is fabulous. There is nothing like this in the wheelchair community. This is huge, you guys. This is the disability icon transformation package. So, and it will also feature some personal life coaching as well from yours truly. So if you guys want to know more about it, if you want to be kind of on the thread about, you know, when it's coming out and release dates and so forth, please drop me a line. I'm more than happy. If you're asking for specific questions, those are coming with the app, I promise. So this is really, really big stuff, you guys. If you are a wheelchair user, you know that it is very difficult to just know what to do. So let me just scroll down, make sure I didn't miss any of your comments. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and yeah, and just being a part of this journey. I'm really, really grateful. So if there are no last questions, then we will see you guys next week. Still stay tuned throughout the week. I'm so overwhelmed and overjoyed and all of the above. My website is getting a really beautiful kind of revamp right now. My logo is getting a revamp, just so much happening. And I just feel really, really blessed of all the stuff that's happening, coming my way, and people that have reached out and wanted to help. And I don't even know what to say sometimes. I'm just so overwhelmed. So thank you. Really appreciate it. Again, Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. If you guys have any questions, send them to me. If you want to do a private message, awesome. Let me know what your questions are. I think that it's a great month for me to address them and you know, just kind of let you into that world of what it really means to have a spinal cord injury or a disability, and what we can do to really start making some inclusion possible. All right, you guys, happy Vertical Tuesday. Remember, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. That is not my quote, that's Wayne Dyer. I wish I could take credit for that. But this week's blog was all about taking a look at your life and where there are blemishes and breakouts. And after the hurricane week that we went through a couple weeks ago, my skin primarily was breaking out, and it was the bad food, the lack of exercise, it was all that stuff, lack of drinking water, and just feeding myself crap and junk over that course of that week as I went through the anxiety, and that's how I dealt with the stress. And it was amazing how quickly those old unhealthy ways came back in a big way. So take a look around your life. Where are the breakouts? Where are the blemishes? And I promise it begins with you to clear them up. All begins with you. It's your life. Clear it up. And if things are going well, there's nothing that needs fixing, then make sure that you are in a really good place so that when the hurricane hits, the storm comes, that you're ready and you can be that for other people. All right, live vertically, sit tall, stand tall, elevate your life, and live vertically. Thank you guys so much for all the love.